waiting for it to catch up with me here. Hallelujah. Well, I thought this was a good idea. I'm beginning to wonder. Crying out loud. Really? Oh, there you go. No. No, don't in process. Don't dare. Oh my gosh. This is taking just as long as it did before. Gosh, I think it's worse. I think it's taken longer than it did before. What is the deal here? Okay. I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes. If it doesn't start, then I'm just gonna blow it off. Just read it. This is insane. And now we have no volume. Really. Why? Why do you hate me?
Hello, everyone.
Ah, finally.
So it is that we meet again for another 5-minute Bible study, today through Exodus chapter 33. You can download the free PDF on our website. There's a link down in the description. So here's the PDF popping up. Chapter 33. You can download the free PDF on our website. There's
Oh, are you kidding me?
down in the description. So here's the PDF popping up on your screen. Right now. Let's get into our questions. When did these events happen? The Exodus, or when the children of Israel got out of slavery in Egypt, that would have occurred about 1491 BC. The events of Exodus chapter 33 specifically happened about 4 months
No.
after that. Our characters for this
No. I can't handle this. It passes. Yeah, that's where. It's almost 11 o'clock. I still got a few outside animals. Just across the street. I do it across the street in the park. So that way I know they won't be tempted to go next door and get poisoned or killed. No. We have a new neighbor. His cat got caught in the trap. I think I told y'all this last night. He beat the tar out of that trap. That trap may not be working right now. Anyway, Exodus 33, the command to leave Sinai. Sorry, I'm just going to read it. I honestly thought by direct wire, see, I knew it wouldn't matter. I didn't know. I honestly hoped it would work better. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Depart and go up from here, you and the people whom you have brought out of the land of Egypt, to the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying to your descendants, I will give it. And I will send my angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanite, and the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Go up to a land flowing with milk and honey, for I will not go up in your midst, lest I consume you on the way, for you are a stiff-necked people." And when the people heard this bad news, they mourned, and no one put on his ornaments. For the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the children of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. I could come up into your midst in one moment and consume you. Now therefore take off your ornaments, that I may know what to do to you." So the children of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments by Mount Horeb. Moses meets with the Lord. Moses took his tent and pitched it outside the camp, far from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of meeting. And it came to pass that everyone who sought the Lord went out to the tabernacle of meeting. Wow, the cats are Toby, stop it. Which was outside the camp. So it was, whenever Moses went out to the tabernacle, that all the people rose, and each man stood at his tent door and watched Moses until he had gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass, when Moses entered the tabernacle, that the pillar of cloud descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle, and the Lord talked with Moses. All the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose and worshipped, each man in his tent door. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. And he would return to the camp, but his servant Joshua the son of Nun, the young man, did not depart from the tabernacle. The promise of God's presence. Then Moses went to the Lord. See, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people. And he said, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Then he said to him, if your presence does not go with us, do not bring us up from here. For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except you go with us? So we shall be separate, your people and I, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord said to Moses, I will also do this thing that you have spoken, for you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And he said, please show me your glory. Okay. Then he said, I will make all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. I think this is where Moses is in that cleft of the rock. Yeah. And the Lord said, yep, I was right. Here is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. Ow, sorry, Bella, you're under my chair. I didn't know you were there. I stepped on her tail, so she bit me. So it shall be, while my glory passes by, that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. Cool. Matthew 22, verses 1 through 22. The parable of the wedding feast. And Jesus answered and spoke to them again by parables, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who arranged a marriage for his son. Wonder who that son is. And sent out his servants to call those who were invited to the wedding, the chosen people. And they were not willing to come. Again he sent out other servants, saying, tell those who are invited, see, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and fatted cattle are killed, and all things are ready. Come to the wedding. But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his own farm, another to his business. And the rest seized his servants, treated them spitefully, and killed them. But when the king heard about it, he was furious, and he sent out his armies, destroyed those murderers, and burned up their city. Then he said to his servants, the wedding is ready, but those who were invited were not worthy. Therefore go into the highways, and as many as you find, invite to the wedding. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all whom they found, both bad and good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came in to see the guests, he saw a man there who did not have on a wedding garment. So he said to him, friend, how did you come in here without a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, bind him hand and foot, take him away and cast him into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. the Pharisees, it is lawful. Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar? Now, I'm going to hold on just a second because I want to read something about that. About that first parable. Not you. Oops. Sadly, this parable is where a lot of people seem to get the replacement theory, thinking that the church replaced the Jews. I don't think so. No, we did not. We are simply grafted in. Okay. Let's see, what was it? Matthew 12. Wait a minute, what was it? Matthew 22. Whoops. 1 through 22. Okay, so that first parable. Okay, so I'm going to read that first part again, but I'm going to read the red with it. And Jesus answered and spoke unto them again by parables and said, Jesus is still in the temple and continuing with this message. Them refers to the religious leaders of Israel. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, God the Father, which made a marriage for his son, the Lord Jesus Christ, and sent forth his servants, the prophets, to call them, Israel, who were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. They rejected the prophets and even their Messiah. The phrase proclaims a studied and deliberate rejection. You remember the parable we read last night where he was talking about the man that owned the vineyard, and the people that were working it would kill the servants, and then finally killed the son who was the heir? Same. Again, he sent forth other servants, which could well refer to his personal disciples, and the Apostle Paul, and those in the early church whose ministry was yet future, saying, Tell them which are bidden. This is an invitation directed personally to the people of Israel. The first few chapters of the book of Acts will bear this out. Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. A strong sense of urgency, for time is running out. Come unto the marriage. Respects the last invitation given to the Jews that could well have been given by the Apostle Paul in Acts chapter 23. But they made light of it, Israel's response to the gospel, and went their ways instead of God's ways. One to his farm, another to his merchandise. Israel had no interest in the gospel. They were more interested in money. How much does this characterize the modern church? And the remnant, those of Israel who didn't want the gospel, which included the religious leaders, took their servants, the apostles, and entreated them spitefully and slew them. The time of the early church was glorious, but as well a time of intense persecution. But when the king, the heavenly Father, heard thereof, he was wroth, extremely angry. And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Exactly what happened in AD 70 when Titus destroyed Jerusalem, just as Jesus predicted. Then said he to his servants, The plan of God is not halted, only its direction. The wedding is ready, will go as planned, but with a change of guests. But they which were bidden were not worthy. Concerns Israel, who would not accept the worthiness of Christ. Go ye therefore into the highways, the balance of the world, and as many as you shall find. Love invites the many. Bid to the marriage. Give an invitation to the Gentiles, which was the Lord's plan all along, but not in this fashion. Those who were to be first will be last, and those who were to be last will be first. Remember me saying that also? That's not what's in this Bible, that part, but that's basically what's happening here. I feel, that's my opinion. That's what I've been taught too. So those servants, apostles and prophets, went out into the highways, and don't take the word of anyone. Study for yourself. For real. Don't even take your pastor's word. He's just a tool. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, he is a tool, a study tool. You still have to do your own study and research and ask God for wisdom and discernment as well. So, anyway. And as many as you shall find, So the servants went out into the highways, world evangelism. Okay, so the servants, apostles and prophets, went out into the highways. World evangelism actually began with the Apostle Paul. and gathered together all as many as they found. Actually, evangelism started with the woman at the well. I beg your pardon. I'm just saying. Um, but as far as world evangelism, yes, probably did start with Apostle Paul. And gathered together all as many as they found. The gospel invitation given to everyone, none are excluded. Both bad and good proclaims the fact that the good need salvation as well as the bad. And the wedding was furnished with guests, respects the redeemed who will be made up of both Jews and Gentiles. And when the king, God the Father, came in to see the guest, it was customary for the host to come and see their guest after they were assembled. He saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment supplied by the king, which was the custom in those days. And he said unto him, Friend, used in a negative way, how did you think you could come in hither not having a wedding garment? You have on your own garment, which is self-righteousness, and have refused my garment, which is the righteousness of Christ. And he was speechless. This man deemed his own garment of self-righteousness good enough for the feast. And it suited him very well until the king came in, and then he was exposed and cast out. Then said the king, God the Father, to the servants, angels in this case, bind him hand and foot and take him away. Also refers to true preachers who proclaim salvation to Christ acceptors, and doom to those who are Christ rejectors. And cast him into outer darkness, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Hell is the end result of all self-righteousness. For many are called, includes the whole world, which are many, and called by God, but few are chosen. Few respond favorably to the call. So see, there's a whole lot to unpack just in that first parable. So the Pharisees, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar? Then the Pharisees went and plotted how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent to him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Teacher, we know that you're true and teach the way of God in truth, nor do you care about anyone, for you do not regard the person of men. In other words, he's no respecter of men, treats everyone equally. Tell us, therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus perceived their wickedness and said, Why do you test me, you hypocrites? Show me the tax money. So they brought him a denarius, and he said to them, Whose image and inscription is this? They said to him, Caesar's. And he said to them, Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. When they heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. So, just to finish the last 8 verses. Then went the Pharisees, the self-righteous hypocrites to whom Christ was speaking, and took counsel with the Herodians and Sadducees, how they might entangle him in his talk, trap him so they could arrest him. How foolish they were. And they sent out unto him their disciples of the Pharisees, with the Herodians, those who claimed Herod to be the Messiah. Well, I didn't know that. Saying, Master, teacher, we know that you are true and teach the way of God in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for you regard not the person of men. Flattery, which they did not at all believe, but was a part of their clever trap. They were foolish to try and match wits with him, but in their stupidity they kept trying. Tell us, therefore, what do you think? Is it lawful, the law of Moses, to give tribute, pay taxes under Caesar or not? Kaiser, whatever. This question raged in Israel at that time. In their thinking, either way he answered would trap him. If he said it was not lawful, this would have put him in opposition to the Roman government. Had he said it was lawful, he would have denied his claim as Messiah, the King of Israel. But Jesus perceived their wickedness, pertains to the hypocrisy which prompted their question, and said, Why tempt you me? He saw through their craftiness, you hypocrites. He said this to their faces. Show me the tribute money, the type of coin used to pay the tax. And they brought unto him a penny, the coin. And he said unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? It was probably the image of Tiberius on the coin. They say unto him, Kaiser's. Then said he unto them, Render therefore unto Kaiser the things which are Kaiser's, and unto God the things that are God's. Caesar. Lawful government is here recognized, and support for government approved. If done correctly, support for government and support for God will not clash. When they had heard these words, in this short statement, a new sphere of government was introduced, the two spheres of church and state to be distinct and not joined. They marveled, were left speechless, and left him and went their way. They were silenced, but their evil hearts were not changed. And that is the end of the last of yesterday's second part of Bible reading, and the study part. And it's 11 o'clock. Yeah, I probably have time. I'm going to go throw some food outside. I bought some chicken dogs today. I love the chicken dogs, so I'll put those out and some cookies. Oh, no, I don't have any cookies for them. Oh, well, okay, I'll put chicken dogs out. They'll be all right. And then I'll be back to do the other two. And I won't do the scripture thing. I think for now, because I'm really tired of copying and pasting because that destroys my back until I can get a new desk chair. Yeah, I'm just going to use my study Bible and do like I just did. And for now, anyways, shalom for now, and I shall be back shortly. Bye-bye.